Uh, you remember in my previous video, I told you that if you're interested, I'll tell you about the story of the MTech story. This boy who absolutely shocked me with what he did. So, since many of you asked and requested about that story, I thought I'll tell you. This is when I was at the age of 30, I think, 29, 30, nearly 15, 16 years ago. I was in Dubai working for, I'd just been appointed by this company, MTech Computers. The owner of the company, he knew me and he had taken me on board as a marketing manager. Now, sound effects. Anyway, like I told you before, wherever I used to get jobs, I would get jobs via contacts and connections. So this guy had appointed me as a marketing manager. Now it is an IT firm and it had IT training also. And the IT training was where they were making the maximum money, because obviously computer parts anyone can buy. But the IT bit, now that's the tough part, you know. But that is where the money is. So he appointed me and, obviously he was expanding, so he wanted to bring new people on board. So I had a very unique style of conducting interviews. Those days I would, obviously it has changed over time, but those days I would call candidates, let's say I'd call 10, 20 candidates at a time. And I had this bad habit, I would make them wait for half an hour or 40 minutes. Not a good strategy, but I used to make them wait. Like I told you, I've changed from that time. So it was very irritating to the owner to keep them waiting. But the reason I would do that is because, when you have 3-4 candidates all coming for the same position and they all looking at each other, you can study their body language, you can understand who's under pressure, who's under tension. They size each other up. So then after we would take them in the conference room, and my style of interview was, I would not interview one candidate. I would interview all of them together. Obviously, the first was the preliminary. So each one will be called to introduce himself, alone in the room. There'd be 4-5 people sitting there, me, the owner of the company, another senior person. And each candidate would come, introduce them, their name, we would check their resume, see do they fit, fine. Selected candidates, not selected candidates. So obviously there would be a process elimination and we'd finish this all in one day. So first round was elimination. We had the set of guys we wanted, and the others we told them thank you very much. Now, almost all of them were wearing suits. All of them, suit and tie, qualified degree holders. We are taking someone for the, I think, training manager, who would run the place and also would be responsible for sales. That was the most important bit. So, fine. First round, we finished. The second round, we call them again, and this time ask them the basic questions. Okay, to get to know them a little bit more better. Okay, second round, they would speak general questions. And obviously, once again, elimination. Then we kept the candidates we wanted. Now, in the last round, we would have 5 candidates, normally in numbers of 3 or 5 or 7. If I'm not mistaken, it was 5. And now we would call all of them together and ask them questions and discuss and group discussion, and obviously you can make out who stands out. So when we had called these guys for the third interview, the third round, Lo and behold, someone is knocking on the door. So we come in and in comes this guy. Now, like I told you, all the guys wore suits. All the guys had, a degree, and all the guys look smart. This guy who comes in, he's just wearing a shirt. Not t-shirt, shirt with a tie, and he's totally drenched in sweat. Completely drenched in sweat. Okay. I still remember him. He popped his head, "Sir, may I come in?" I said, "Yes," because I was heading the interview. So, "Yes, who are you?" So immediately he said, "Sir, my name is Saji. I've come for the interview." I told him, "I'm sorry you're late, and we don't accept late candidates." Even before I could finish, he said, "Sir, I just want you to know that just hear what I have to say. You decide then." I said, "Go on." He had that thing where he didn't have that apologetic like this thing. He was genuinely sorry. You could make out from his tone, but it shows a sense of urgency. He showed a sense of urgency, and so he said, "Sir, I just want you to know that I took a bus to come here, sir, and the bus broke down, and then I had to run to get the second bus, and that bus came late, and finally I did not have money for cab, sir. Others had taken a taxi and I'd come here. I came running all the way, sir. I've come all the way from Sharjah. So please, sir, just give me a chance. All I'm asking, just give me a chance for the interview. And if you don't feel I'm the candidate, I'll go. Just please, sir, I just want one chance to show you I'm the candidate." I looked at the owner looked at me, and he's like, "You decide." I said, "Fine." Because, the way he spoke kind of resonated with me. Here was a young man who was telling, "Just give me this chance. If I'm not, you can tell me to go." I said, "Fine, come in." We had to bring in a chair, and obviously we didn't know him. So I said, "Where's your CV?" He was sweating, man. He gave his CV. Looked at his CV, asked him to introduce him. "Sir, my name is Saji, this. He went on. Obviously, I saw many loopholes in the CV. He didn't have experience in UAE. He didn't have, these other guys had masters. He didn't have a master's degree. So I said, "Okay, fine, have a seat." So obviously he missed the first round. So we just asked him, "Tell us something about yourself." Fine. And then we went on. Now, I always, obviously we should ask technical questions, which were asked. Each one was answering them. And he also knew a little bit of technical answers. Then we were asking about sales. Each one said, "Yeah, I've done this." But this particular guy, he didn't have UAE sales experience. And, I asked him, like, "You don't have any UAE sales? Like, how do you sell?" His answer was, he said something in the lines of, "Sir, selling is selling. Whether you sell in Dubai or whether you sell in India. So when you have to sell, you have a relationship with the person." He said something like that, which sounded very sensible to me. So I said, "Okay, fine." Now came the final bit. So he said, "Thank you, everyone." And, the owner asked me, "Do you still want to keep that final candidate?" I said, "Let him be till the finals." Okay, and the final round was next, where each one would come in and I would ask the final questions. And my favorite question was, these other candidates who are out there are better than you, smarter than you, and we actually want to take them, but you tell us why should we take you and not the other candidate. That was always my favorite question. And I'll tell you, it really puts a person to the test, where when you ask them, "Why should I take you and not them?" and they're better than you, it clearly shows who's who. Each one of them said, "Sir, I'm better, more hardworking, focused. My results show my track record." The typical cliche answers. Fine. When finally it came to Saji, and I kind of called him, I think last or second last. I called him. I said, "Hello, Saji, see, listen. We checked all the candidates. You're definitely the last. It's more like we don't want you, you're rejected. But since you came in, I thought I'll give you one final chance. You tell me, why should we take you, man, and not them? Because owner doesn't see any reason. The other members of the team don't see any reason. So now it's left up to me. You tell me, why should we take you? Because I think we have already selected our candidate. I don't think you're going to make it. So tell me, if there's anything, we might consider you. But honestly speaking, it's a no from our side. So I said, tell me why. To this day, I still kind of remember what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but I'll tell you this was exactly more or less what he said. He said, sir, you're absolutely right. They are better than me, more qualified, more experienced. Everything is, sir, you're 100% right. Okay? And they dress up smarter than me, everything. His English was not too good, by the way. So he said, but sir, I have a mother and sister back home. And for me, if I don't earn, I can't feed them. If I don't earn every single day, I can't send them money. And for a better life, I asked my mother to sell her gold and whatever property she had, even my sister's gold. And I came here. I came here, sir, not to fail. And I will not fail. Sir, I want to succeed not only for myself, but for them. And sir, if you give me this job, okay, if you give me this job, I'm just asking you, not if you, sir, just give me this chance. You don't pay me a salary. His actual words, he said, don't pay me a salary till I show you results. Every day I will come and I'll show you how many customers I have. This is exact words, Every day I will come and show you. Sir, and if I don't show you results, you don't pay me. I'll tell you, not one single candidate said that. I looked at the owner looked at me, looked at this guy. So I said, okay, fine. So we don't pay you until you bring results. You bring results only, then we'll pay you. Yes, sir. I just want to show you that whatever these people can do, I can also do. Maybe I will do better. So, and then in the end, he said, sir, I just want to tell you that I will not fail. The last sentence he made my hair stand. It was like, when your hair is standing at the back of your neck, the way he said it, the determination, the fire. It takes a lot of balls and a lot of guts to say that, don't pay me until I show you results. Every day I will go out and I'll tell you what I've done. I'll show you results. Me and the owner sat and we evaluated. We finally decided on 3 candidates. Then obviously we had to choose one. And even though we didn't have a vacancy for this guy, we squeezed him in. I think in the end we took 3 people and he was one of them. And the owner said, why you are taking him? I said, I believe he will do it. I feel he'll be the one. Owner, well, obviously, the owner has taken me for a reason. So he said, what about the other? You want to take them? I said, just take them, because if in case one doesn't work out, we have the other one doesn't work out, at least we have the third one. So we have 3. And true to my experience and prediction, eventually the other 2 guys, they left because the work was not easy and one of them got a better offer. This guy, on the other hand, initially when he joined, he used to sit by himself, write his notes. He didn't achieve success the first month. And, he didn't, it was tough, it was really tough, but he was working. But I'll tell you, he never got the results in the first month. In fact, he didn't even get the results in the second month. He just got hardly 1 or 2 clients. But the guy would work, man, he would work. From the third month onwards, he started to get results. Now, obviously, owner, this is the part I hate about the guy. He used to always delay the salaries and pay late, and he's an absolute bum. And why I hate him particularly is, even though he knew me, he still put a ban on me to ensure that I wouldn't be in the country, because it didn't work out. Anyway, I was not a gem of an employee. I was also egoistic. I rubbed him the wrong way, I guess. So he got me thrown out. It didn't work out. Anyway, I didn't want to work for him. I resigned. He didn't throw me out. I resigned. He wanted different options with me, but I refused. So when he got butthurt, he ensured that I got banned. But this guy, I think initially first month he paid him half the salary, second month half, because he didn't get any results. But third month, when he started to get in, started to pay him, obviously delays in the salary. But this young man, I'll tell you, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was among the top. He would bring in the best customers, and I don't recollect, I'm being honest with you, I don't recollect whether he was number one, but he was the hardest working guy. He would really work hard. He would do multiple tasks, not just one. You ask him to do anything, he was working, man. Never wasted time. The last I heard of him was he got a job in a multinational company where, he used to do different jobs for this company, and he used to also service clients. Apparently, he got the client liked him so much. I think he joined the client and he got a very good salary. And finally, I don't know how far this is true, but this is what I heard. I was not in touch with him. He finally got taken by the owner of the company abroad. Now, this is a part I'm not too sure, but as far as I know, the owner was so impressed with him, he took him abroad. And that is where he is today. But I'll tell you, the part of the story I'm absolutely sure is the part where I told you I was with him, and I also know for a fact he got a job in a multinational company, very good salary. See, why I still remember this boy is because, one is, everyone else was wearing a suit, he wasn't. He was wearing just a shirt and tie. Everyone else was smartly dressed and looked, like a senior. He looked like a small boy, just running in the sun and completely wet. He didn't have anything fancy. He was very skinny. Where everyone else had their degrees and a track record, he only had fire and passion. And where everyone else was giving those canned answers, he spoke from his heart. His drive. When he said, I'm doing this for my mother and sister, I normally tell people, listen, don't want to listen to your bullshit sob story. I would tell them that. But the way he said it with purpose, I could feel it, And he was very focused young man, very focused. And when someone has this kind of drive and determination and, a burning desire, reason to want to fight, they will never fail. And I told you, see, even though he joined, it was not like a happy ending story, like from the first month itself he achieved the highest. It is a very tough business, especially training industry. He struggled, man. He would go out every day in the sun, no money for a taxi. He would have to wait for buses. He would work the earliest first guy in the office, the last guy to leave. Maybe 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours. And finally, results did follow after the third month. And yes, because he had such amazing work ethic, finally a multinational company, they scooped him up. These are the kinds of people who get headhunted. And like I told you, people are saying that the owner of the company took him abroad, and now he's living abroad. I wouldn't be surprised, because he is that kind of a person. This story stayed with me, and why it resonates with me, this is the kind of person I would like to believe I am. Especially when your back is against the wall. Yeah, when things are going good, yeah, you don't give a fuck, you have an ego and all. But when your back is against the wall and it's a do or die, it's a fire inside that keeps you alive, So the fire inside me drove me to where I am today. That is why, when I take anyone's interview or I train someone, I always ask them this question. Let this noisy vehicle go. So I always ask them this question. Outside there are other candidates who are better than you, smarter than you, more qualified than you, better education. Why should we take you and not them? I was asking. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to copy paste his answer. If you say, okay, don't pay me anything, the owner will say, okay, fine, I'll not pay you anything. So it's dangerous to say that answer. But when you really ask them this, it's only the person who knows themselves deep down, who really understands their point, their purpose, their drive, who have that burning desire, who are not ready to give up. They stand out. And me, any given day, I will choose a person who has a drive and determination, not just big talk, than a person who's highly qualified for sales. I'm not talking technical or anything else, but especially for sales. Remember, just as any job can be learned, with this you can also do that. But this is the difference between winners and losers. So yeah, this was the MTech story, a story that remained with me all these years. So you tell me, what do you think? Does this story inspire you? Do you believe it? You think I'm simply winging it? Like some of you always say. Let me know what you think. And what would you give? What answer would you give if someone asked you, why should I give you a job when there are people better than you, smarter than you, more hardworking? What would your answer be? So don't pay me anything. Let's see what you guys would say. Okay. Alright, you guys take care. It's me signing off.